Welcome back to the Francescan Disorder, and if you've just stumbled upon me or bumped into me for the first time, please consider being a friend by subscribing. Today's video is another story time. So before I go into this story time, I'll ask you a question. In today's world where your whole life is on your mobile phone, what would you do if you forget your mobile phone on a plane that is bound for another country? Yeah, put your answers in the comment section. But that's my story. That's what happened to me. So yeah, let me go into the story of how I left my phone on a plane that was on its way back to another country, and what happened after that. So stick around if you'd like to see how we got here. If my life is on my mobile phone, why am I still here? Why am I not dead? Okay. So by the way, excuse my tired face and my puffy eyes. I've just got back from work, so it's been a long day in the office. Anyway, I went to Amsterdam with the hubs. We went for a weekend trip, so we left on a Saturday, came back on a Monday. Just a very short trip, just to change our environment for a little bit. First things first, when I got to Amsterdam, I noticed I took my laptop to Amsterdam, forgot my laptop charger back home here. I noticed when I got to Amsterdam that, I don't have my laptop charger, but it was like, okay, because we had activities anyway. So we arrived Saturday. On Saturday, we had activities. On Sunday, we had activities. On Monday, we had activities just before we come back home. So it was like, how much time will I be spending on my laptop anyway? And it was fully charged before I brought it here. So it was okay. It didn't run out of juice till I got home. That kind of gives you an insight on how I am susceptible to forgetting things. But yeah, we spent our time in Amsterdam. Everything was good, all hunky-dory, lovely, beautiful, until it was the day to go home. Of course, we caught our flight all right, got on the plane. What had happened was, when we were on the plane, I then put my phone in the seat pocket in front of me, and throughout on the plane, I didn't use my phone. I did do like pictures and videos of, when the flight lifts off. I like to get like the aerial view of wherever we are leaving from, because from country to country, as you know, it will be a different landscape altogether, and depending on where we're flying over. I say all that to say that when we were flying over, because like when you're going to different places, you fly over different things, and as we were flying in and out of Amsterdam, we were flying over the North Sea, and when we were getting closer to our city, I could see like places that I recognized from up there. They looked different, they looked very tiny. But yeah, it was just like interesting things to film and to video. So I was doing that with the hub's phone, and the reason why I wasn't doing it with my phone is because my memory is always full, because as you know, I take a lot of pictures and videos, so I'm always borrowing the hub's phone to help myself. Yeah, so that's how I was helping myself to the hub's phone. And so when we were leaving, because I didn't use my phone, that flight was like 1 hour, and in that whole 1 hour I didn't really use my phone. I just got on the plane, put it in the seat pocket in front of me. I forgot it. We're getting off the plane, I left it, and when we got off the plane, I didn't, like the flight, the whole logistics of the travel was not in my hands. It was the hubs that called the taxi, it was the hubs that booked for everything. So I didn't have need for my phone at all. I didn't have need for my phone. Perhaps if I needed to use my phone to call a taxi or something, I would have remembered not too long after I left the plane. Anyway, it's important to say at this point that when we left the plane, when we were waiting on border control line to get back into the country, we heard an announcement saying that same plane was now on its way back to Amsterdam. So we saw that it boarded other people and then went back to Amsterdam. So we kind of said it amongst ourselves. We were like, that's quick, it's going back already. That's just a point to note. And what that tells you now is that plane is on its way back to Amsterdam with my phone. But at this point, I didn't know. I was blissfully ignorant. So we got out of the airport, the hubs hailed a taxi, and on this day, it was such a way that we came back and the hubs had to go into work immediately because he had to go into a meeting immediately we got home. And yeah, I was to have dinner by myself. So we got home. I have another phone, by the way, so that's not, I don't know how to explain this. So I have two phones. One is my, one is my very important phone and one is my not very important phone. But then I bought my new phone and I didn't get rid of the old one. That's how I kept two phones. Anyway, so, I don't know why I'm laughing now. It's just funny now that such a thing would happen, but at the time it wasn't funny. Also, my reaction was really, really funny. Anyway, so we got home, and as soon as we got home, the hubs left immediately. He just got dressed, changed his outfits, and left immediately to his meeting. And I was left here unpacking our things. I was unpacking the bag. In my mind, I was like, I'm going to try and unpack so that when the hubs come, he's going to say, well done, and blah, blah, blah. Because, it's not typically me that will come back immediately and unpack my things. So I unpacked my bags and helped him unpack his bag as well. But in the middle of unpacking, I looked at the time. I was like, I should probably order my dinner now that I'm going to eat, because, it's going to get too late for them to deliver. And it was when I wanted to order my dinner that I noticed that I was not with my phone. So I was looking for my phone, looking in all the bags. I looked in all because I just remembered as well that I've unpacked all these bags and I didn't see the phone anywhere. So I thought, okay, maybe I kept it in the room when I came back. So I went back into the bedroom, turned the bed upside down, no phone. At this point, I think it just dawned on me that you left your phone, Fran, in the seat pocket on the plane. I was alone in this house. As soon as I noticed, I started jumping, shouting. Like Nollywood style. I'm dead though. That's what I was screaming to myself. It's like there was nobody here, but I was just jumping, shouting, oh my gosh, I'm dead, I'm gone. After my small session of theatrics, I then decided, well, put your thinking hat on and do something. So what did I do? I then took my other phone that I was with and called KLM. So KLM was the first person I called, and then I was on the phone waiting. It took so long for them to answer. But then when they picked up, I said what the problem was, said I forgot my phone on the flight, blah, blah, blah. And then she said to me, it was a lady that picked up, she was like, yeah, your best bet is to go back straight to the airport. I was like, okay. And then she said, I'll also send you, no, she said, I'll fill out a form with you. So go online. We both went online together. And we filled out the missing items or missing property, whatever. We filled out that form together, but she was saying, we're filling this form just to submit, but you need to go back to the airport that you just came back from. I was like, okay. So I finished speaking to her, then I put the phone down, and then I was on my way to the airport. I left the house, got the bus. No, was going to catch the bus. I went to the bus stop to. Even when I left, because my brother's girlfriend was around at the time, I was calling her to see. They don't live very far from me, so I was calling her to see if she's home so that she would come with me. I called my sister, told her I forgot my phone. I was calling the hubs was not picking up because obviously he was in a meeting. But then I texted him to say I forgot my phone, and when I was like, let me tell you what happened. So I went to the bus stop, was at the bus stop waiting for the bus. Then I realized that I left my passport at home, so there's no form of identification or even my boarding pass that I still had. I hadn't thrown away at the time to say, okay, yeah, I actually did board this plane. I wasn't sure if they'll ask me or not, but when you're going to do something like that, it's important that you take some sort of documentation that will show who you are, or some sort of identification. So I noticed I had no form of identification. I walked back home like an idiot from the train station. And by this time I was crying. No, on my way to the train station I was crying. On my way back I was crying as well. I called my friend Mary Living and I was telling her, oh my God, was crying the whole way. I don't know why I was crying. I was crying the whole way to the train station. Sorry, to the bus stop, and the whole way back. So on my way back, I then noticed that the hubs had tried to call me as well, but I was on the phone with Mary leaving. So I then did I call you?
You tried to call me, weren't you?
No, I mean after you called me. Like, did we talk on the phone, or were we just chatting?
No, we talked on the phone. I know.
Oh, okay. Well, I called him back, and then we talked, and then he sent me the missing departments, their website that I already filled. So I was like, yeah, I already filled that. And then he said, were you the one that told me to call, the airport in our city as well?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but I think you looked already. Or maybe you hadn't. I don't think I told you to call it.
I don't know. Somebody told me to. It's either him or... Because I called KLM again. I called KLM. Oh, yeah, it was the KLM guy. I called KLM a second time. And someone picked up and he said, also, you need to call the airport in your city. What city are you in? I told him. He said to call the airport in my city. So when I got home, I called the airport before I left again. I called the airport. I took my forms of identification, my passport, everything. And then I went out again with my crying. I was still crying the whole time. Oh, by this time I hadn't called you. I think I actually called you when I was on the bus.
Yeah, we spoke a few times that night.
So, I was on the bus talking to my husband. I was crying. When I got on the bus, there was not a lot of people on the bus. I bought my tickets, and the last stop for that bus is actually the airport. There's a reason why I'm telling you this now. Anyway, so I got on that bus, went back to the airport. Remember I said I'd called missing items at the airport. Oh, and they said to send them an email as well. So I sent them an email straight away before I left the house. So I went there, hoping to get my phone back, or hoping to at least just, I don't know what I was expecting. At this point, you know what? I wasn't expecting anything. But when I was on the bus, my brother's girlfriend texted me to say, I saw your missed call. I was trying to call you back, but your phone was engaged. So I said to her, yeah, I was just seeing if you could follow me to the airport, but it's okay, I'm on the bus now. And she was like, what's happening? So I told her what was happening, and she was like, oh my gosh. And then it was only what she said that gave me confidence. She was like, I forgot my passport on the plane as well in Nigeria, and I went back to take it and it was there, so don't worry, I think your phone will still be there, because they clean out the plane before it goes anywhere else. So then, yeah, I went to the missing people's department, not missing people. I got to the airport, went straight to lost and found. But at the desk there, by the way, we live in a small city, so our airport is really, really tiny. And so, there's not a lot of flights that leave from our airport. That's why we have to go to other airports to travel when we do. So, because of how tiny our city is, and it's not a very busy airport, it was dead. It was empty. There was no single person there. I remember when I got to the airport, I was back to talking to the hubs. I was on the phone with him, telling him there's nobody here. There was nobody at the desk. So he said, just walk around and see if you'll see anybody. So I was walking, looking. So I said to him, I can see people at security, like airport security. I can see people there, but they're not looking here. So he was like, try and get one of them's attention so that they come to you. But yeah, it was when I was talking to him and trying to get someone's attention. This woman was coming out. She didn't see me trying to get her attention. She was just coming out anyway. So I was like, I said to the hubs, oh, there's a woman, wait. So I ran to her. I was like, I'm looking for the people at the help desk. Oh, by the way, back at the help desk, they said to call this number if you would like to talk to them. And the number I was calling, it wasn't going at all. So I don't know what that was about. I said to the woman, I'm looking for people at the help desk. And she was like, oh, they're all on the runway at the moment. Because it's a small airport, the people that do the help desk will leave the help desk after they've done everything, and then go to the runway. Go into security, and then once they finish from security, they go into the runway. They multitask in that airport. So she was like, they're all at the runway. Go back to the desk. There's a phone there. Just pick it up and put on your ear. It will call somebody there, and they will come out to meet you. So I said, okay. So I went back there and picked up the phone and put on my ear, and nobody picked the first time. Or did they pick? I don't know how many times I had to try that, but Then they came out. It wasn't long. It was like 2 seconds because you were still on the phone, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just felt very long. You know, when you're tense, everything feels very long. Anyway, so I picked up that phone and put on my ear, and then someone picked up. I think they didn't pick the first time, and then I called the second time, and someone picked up and said, yeah, we're all just coming out from the runway now. Wait for us there. We'll be there in a minute. So I was there with I wiped my tears just so that I don't look like a mad person. And then they came out and I was like, I forgot my phone on the plane. And they were like, what flight? I was like, KLM from Amsterdam. And then they said, oh, I think they were saying something about the person that has the phone. They said, no, they said like, they didn't even say the phone. They said the person that has the things that they took out of the plane was not there. And when they were saying it, the person, like, he was behind, so he ran, not run, he came forward and he was like, oh, I'm here. So I was like, yeah, I forgot my phone. He said, on what flight? You know, I just told him what kind of phone is that. I told him what type of phone it was, and then they brought the phone out. So as soon as I saw my phone, like as soon as I saw it and it looked like my phone, I just started crying. Like I couldn't control myself. I started bawling. I was like, sorry?
I remember that.
You were the phone?
Yeah.
Do you know, when I was on my way to the airport, I was thinking of calling my boss. Remember I said in my last story time that I forgot my phone at home, and because like if I don't have my phone, I can't get into work without this phone. So I was thinking of calling my boss that night, because I was thinking, okay, even if I don't get my phone tonight, it might be on its way back from, like, you know, they might see it in Amsterdam and then they'll have to return it back. But I wasn't sure if any flight was coming back from Amsterdam that night. So I was thinking at most maybe tomorrow morning we'll have to go and pick it up from the flight that comes from Amsterdam in the morning, before I can then get to work. So I was thinking of calling my boss, but I didn't. I just thought against it. I thought, let me just go to the airport and see. If I don't see it, then I'll call him. Anyway, as soon as I saw my phone, I went, and they were like, stop. So this guy refused to. He didn't refuse. He just held my phone and he was like, stop crying. It's okay. Calm down. I saw that he was not going to give me the phone if I didn't calm down. So I calmed down. It's so funny. So I calmed down. I stopped crying. I was like, No, then he put the phone on the desk and he said, unlock it. So I put my finger on it because it's fingerprint unlocked. I put my finger on it and it unlocked, because I'm sure they tried. I don't know if they tried to, but they could have seen that it was like locked and only the owner can unlock it, obviously. And then it was my fingerprint. Anyway, so I put my fingerprint on it and it unlocked. And then he said, you can have it. Then as soon as he said you can have it, and I took it, I started it. It's really funny now. It's funny because I don't know why I was crying, but then I was just very emotional. And again, you see the way I'm laughing. If this was happening to someone else and I was there watching, I would just be laughing like this. But yeah, emotions are not emotions are not your friend. Anyway, yeah. As soon as he said you can have it, I just picked up my phone and I started crying again. So he was like, wait, stop, calm down, it's okay, you have your phone now. So they tried to calm me down before I left. Anyway, I finished crying. I wiped my tears. I was like, thank you. And then I left the airport. So when I left the airport, there was like the bus. I saw the bus that I said the last stop was the airport. This is to show you how quickly this thing happened, but it felt really long. The bus had stopped and, dropped all the passengers. I was the last passenger that it dropped at the airport. And then it was time for it to go back again. So when I saw the bus on the other side. I just started running. I was shouting, wait! And the bus driver was bringing out his hand, pointing, saying, like, he's coming to start his journey from the other side, so I should go back. But I just saw him pointing. I didn't know what he was saying. It was someone that said, go back to that place. That's where the bus stop begins. That's where the bus begins his journey. So I ran back again and went to jump on the bus. I'm sure the driver would have been, like, it was the same driver. It's exactly the same bus. I'm sure he would have been thinking, just now this person was crying when she came on this bus. And now she's here jumping, laughing. Anyway, I was on the bus there. My food that I said I wanted to order before I discovered that this was happening it was like almost time for the African Nigerian food restaurant to close. So I was on the bus there, made my order on the bus there, and I knew that they would close before I get there if I stayed on the bus. So what I did, when the bus was a bit closer, I got off the bus, got Uber to the restaurant. I was even in the Uber when they called me and said, we're closing in 10 minutes, where are you? So I was like, don't worry, I'm in an Uber, I'm almost there. So I got there, I was the last person to pick up my food there, picked up my food and came home. And that's the end of my story. That's how I got my phone back. But the next morning, there are two important things that I want to say. My city, the lost and found department in my city, the very next morning at 7 a.m, they sent me an email to say they have not returned any phone to them, but if someone returns the phone to them, they will let me know. I had to reply to that email and let them know that I already got the phone, not to worry. I came back last night to get it lost and found. KLM, however, did not email me until 4 weeks later. KLM then emailed me to say, to ask me details of my phone. Back to the question that I asked you at the beginning of this video. If our mobile devices our whole life is on our mobile devices in this age and time, would KLM have expected, what did they expect? What did they think I was doing? That it's not their fault that I forgot it, but it's just the return back service. I don't know what turnaround time is the right word. Their turnaround time is really bad, because what did they think I've been doing for the last 4 weeks since I left my phone on the plane and sent them an email? But anyway, yeah, that's how it happened. And those are the two things that I just wanted to point out, like how companies serve you and their turnaround times. So KLM, if you're watching this, please do better with your turnaround times. Thank you. I didn't respond to their email because, if you waited 4 weeks if you waited 4 weeks to reply, you might as well wait 4 weeks for me to. I'm not even going to reply anymore because I have my phone now. But that's the end of my story. Let me know what the worst place you've forgotten your phone is, and did you get your phone back, and what do you think about me with my fish brain, forgetting my things everywhere I go? I'm trying to improve. I'm changing for the better. Anyway, this story is also in Halloween month, because as you can tell, if you're losing your phone where your whole life is, it is very scary, especially if I really thought that my phone had gone back with the plane to Amsterdam. So if I had left my phone on a plane that is on its way back to a different country, I don't know what I would have been now. Anyway, I'm gonna stop now, stop waffling, because I've talked for too long. I must be boring you now. I'm gonna say, like this video, share my stupidity a lot around, and let people laugh at me as always. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know what all the things that I asked you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you in another one. Bye.